it's fielding more expensive things. Kind of says it all. But I believe Game 2 is on a 2v2 map, so that should change a fair few things up. The supply of CUs, for example, will be far higher early on, as long as they take advantage of the bonus main that is available to them. Excuse me. Still getting over a flu, but on the mend and should be fine. Now let's again go to production. So what so this time Claw immediately opening with the Sand Skimmer tech. But again, because of the extra eco available here, I would be much more inclined, and the larger map, it's going to be a lot longer before he can get over there. I would delay that slightly just so that you can get the extra salvages out, but he hasn't even begun building his extra salvages. Very late. So to anyone still learning Desert of Kharak or looking to improve, one of the most important things at the start of the game, you want to get these 4 salvages working immediately, and you want to queue additional salvages based on your opening plan or opening play. So a typical one for Galcian is to get a salvager building on your carrier, a salvager building on your production cruiser. This is to make up for the fact that your salvages take 20 seconds to build as opposed to Coalition's 12. And not taking advantage of that will put you massively behind early on. Now, meanwhile, Romper Frolic immediately taking advantage of this, and he already has 8 salvages out, and he is getting the extra CUs from here. Now, what he needs to make sure of is that he's close enough so none of these need to stop mining. So yeah, he's a little bit too far, so if he moves a little bit further forward, make sure these are as efficient as possible. Because these guys are always going to need travel. They're always going to need to stop. And that is a lot of wasted time. Compared to instant deployment. Meanwhile, we've got Skimmer advantage to Claw. So that isn't going to last long. So he needs to take this high ground here. Otherwise, he's mostly going to trade. He can benefit from... he's gotten caught up targeting this scanner. In order to prevent this, so units will confirm they can fire on a target. Although that seemed to linger a bit further than it should have. They were well out of range, and yet they were still trying to target this. But one way of cancelling that out is to give an attack move order. So just hit A and immediately click around somewhere, and they'll reset targeting. Which is very handy for dealing with that kind of thing. Don't overuse it though, as obviously it can lead to your units constantly shifting targets and, again, spreading damage. Really the better option is to either control drag to get the red box, attack box, or to pick out individual targets. But really that comes down to your own skill level. So for now, bit of trading back and forth. It really comes down to who holds the high ground for that 50% damage and accuracy bonus. But Claw is in big trouble. The difference in economy now is going to kill him. The fact that he is not expanded at all, the fact that Romper has picked up his extra main is going to put him at a massive disadvantage. And he's also banking resources, so there's no reason for him not to be building another production cruiser or refinery tech, has he? No. So this is going to snowball quite badly for him. Fortunately, he hasn't got Romper also picking up these RUs, but Romper is taking those extra CUs and turning them into extra base runners so that he can take advantage of artifacts. No, this is really bad for Claw right now. Romper having the extra CUs to invest in more eco. Meanwhile, I mean, it's not even that Claw is that badly bottlenecked production-wise. He's just not using it. very easy way to put your CUs to use. So if you're ever sat on a bank like this and you just need to put it to use, you hit F4, you hit E, then you hit E as many times as you feel you need and fill up your production queue. In the case of Coalition, you'd instead do F1 to get your carrier, and then again you mass produce whatever it is you need, which would either be E and then spam E for LAVs, T and then spam T for AAVs. I believe it is R, T and then R for railguns, but I could be wrong. I don't tend to spam railguns like that. It's more of a measured and decided thing. Also, welcome main blocks. So the issue with this fight right now is it doesn't matter what Claw does. Claw can keep taking high ground and winning these fights. He's not developing his macro. He's getting a production cruiser now, but he's behind by a production cruiser, and in the meantime Romper has full 2 mains mining relatively efficiently. So as time goes on, he's going to be more and more overwhelmed. The numbers are going to stack up against him, and tech, I presume, is going to go against him. So we've got speed bonus, we've got armor 2, and we've got damage 1. Meanwhile, Claw has speed, armor 1, and damage 1. So he's already behind 1 on armor techs. What is he researching? He's going to assault ship, so he's looking to try and beat this with tech. But again, I don't think he's going to have time for that. Really don't want to chase that. You don't want to lose a skimmer for nothing. You want to take advantage of your regen wherever and whenever possible. Again, taking a good fight again. And that base runner is fine. Do not chase. Got to acknowledge that high ground. There's no point in putting damage on that base runner. It is 3,300. Nope, 3,350 HP. Ooh, that is a good choice. He's got the numbers, he's got the tech. Those assault rails will allow Romper to pick at Claw's skimmers. And at this point, Claw cannot afford to push in. So yeah, that's going to be game. There's no way he can fight this now. He's outnumbered and he's out-teched. So, yeah. And he's only had 1 salvager on RUs. So, yeah. Complete failure on the macro side. Good micro, but he's just not fully set up here. He's not even started on this. For what? I mean, just if we check resources-wise, Romper's got a nice bank of both CUs and RUs. And that's with more tech investment. You can't ignore this. You cannot. If you have an extra main you can harvest, you need it. And you can never go without fully saturating your main. You can delay it by, we'll say 20 seconds, but after that you need your main saturated. Yeah, there was no way he could win without taking the eco advantage here is massive. You could say most of these skimmers are paid for off the additional resourcing that Romper has had all game. But even if it was even, assault ships versus the assault rails, as long as they're properly microed, those assault rails will walk all over the assault ships. So yeah. So yeah, now it's just a matter of Romper cleaning up. I expect he'll probably kill off the production cruisers. There's really not much point in... something to keep in mind when you're diving on these resource areas. If you're looking to focus down the production cruisers or support cruisers, you're going to have to select them, because your units tend to prefer to shoot at salvagers. Again, a good way of doing that is the control box, as that will allow you to just focus on a group of preferred units. But yeah, good game. Genclaw, if you see this, you've got to do your macro. You need to take on these 2v2 maps. Having the additional main to work with is huge. We're talking about 2 extra CU resource nodes to immediately pick up. You cannot ignore them. I believe it is 500 CUs a minute per node. So you're talking about ignoring 1,000 CUs per minute by not taking advantage of those. But yeah, you were completely out macroed. Your micro was good, but there was no macro to back it. And you were bled dry. And yeah. Substantial lead. But still, GG by both players. Again, I will say I feel like Claude generally had the better micro, but overall Romper was just the better player there, and far better macro in game 2. So now then, let's see.